Thank you. From a FICCI perspective, we welcome the budget. We think it is very well outlined. It is a growth-oriented budget with a short-term demand stimulus, with salaried taxpayers getting a 17,500 rupee benefit. A focus on the medium-term and long-term growth as well, with infrastructure, capex, a sharp focus on skilling, which is essential for jobs and for the longer-term growth of the economy, a balance between both manufacturing and agriculture, and an element for services as well. Beyond the growth part, what is even heartening to see, it is inclusive from a growth perspective. The finance minister began with talking about the government's focus on four key segments: the poor, the youth, the women, and farmers. And it is very important for the Indian economy to grow in an inclusive manner to be able to get the kind of long-term growth that we want to see. It's also heartening to see the focus on simplification in multiple areas. There is clearly a sharp focus that the government has on ease of doing business, and that is something that the industry would welcome. Manufacturing has been a cornerstone in the government's activities for FICCI Bharat, and the budget takes that forward. From a FICCI perspective, that's something that, again, we welcome. And we feel that we should create India as a manufacturing hub for the world, enable the lowest cost of manufacturing in India, the highest ease of doing business in India. And these are a few steps in the right direction that have been outlined here. And fiscal discipline at 4.9% is, again, very welcome. We've been able to achieve a lot in this budget while maintaining that fiscal discipline. So in closing, what I would say is that FICCI and the industry welcomes the budget. It is in line with FICCI's priorities that we outlined for the industry, which is Make in India, women-led development, farm prosperity, and sustainability. And this budget meets all of those very well.
Thank you so much, President. If there are any questions, we can direct it to the people on the dais here. Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, Anant or me? Okay. So I'd just like to supplement what President Dr. Anisha has mentioned. This is clearly a budget which is growth oriented, given its focus on continuity, inclusivity, and fiscal discipline most of all. What I appreciate in particular is the focus on manufacturing, where, in line with some of the points made by FICCI, there is substantial support for MSMEs, whether by way of reducing the TREDS threshold to 250 crores or a separate credit guarantee scheme for purchase of equipment and machinery. And of course, there is duty rationalization which has been proposed to promote domestic manufacturing, to promote export competitiveness, and to address duty inversion. Of course, we'll have to wait and watch and look into the details to get a greater idea. Something that we have also talked about is the next generation reforms, where the center will work with the states to improve particularly the productivity of factors of production. This is something that we have highlighted strongly. While much good work has been done in terms of enhancing ease of doing business, but for us to look at a step change in the growth trajectory, we'll have to both broaden as well as deepen the reforms agenda. And many of these items that have been pointed out by our members actually lie within the purview of the state government. So that is where the center, working with the state to promote digitalization, to promote improving the factors of production, productivity in the factors of production, and using tools such as the business reforms action plan, etc. I think will bear fruit. So all in all, this is a budget which sort of lays the foundation for for the necessary steps which will bring about a step change in the growth trajectory. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Panda. Anand?
Sorry, I could not hear the question.
No, it's no question, just your opening statement to the media, and then we will follow it up with questions. Yeah.
Okay, so sure. To add to what Mr. Shah and Mr. Panda shared, I think this is a budget of continuity, number one. A lot of the things which were mentioned in the interim budget largely was continues to be there, particularly the infrastructure capex. Second is one of focus on job creation, skilling, and inclusivity. I think the incentives for first-time employment was certainly something very welcome and much needed by the economy. The third, I would say, is one of comprehensiveness. The 9 priorities laid out by the finance minister really encompasses all the elements of for us to reach Viksit Bharat, from agriculture to urban development, Make in India, women employment, and so on. And finally, I think it's a budget which does include a lot of the continued focus on fiscal discipline, staying at about 4.9%, which is always very welcome. On manufacturing, I think what is very welcome is on focus on MSMEs, with focus on credit guarantee, term loans, as well as new areas such as industrial parks and energy assurance in the form of even new age thinking ideas such as small nuclear power plants. So I think the great thing is that it is very much in line with FICCI's thought, and we welcome the budget.
Thanks, Anand. Any questions from the media? Any follow-up questions from the media here? Yeah. So thank you, everybody. We'll now kind of move out and do the individual media bites. Thanks.